Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and this time we're doing an 8-4 Fate Reforged draft. We opened Torrent Elemental. I've played against him a couple times. It's pretty insane mythic. Probably one of the best ones you can open, I imagine, since it is efficiently costed 3-5 flyer at 5, but lest we forget, it taps all creatures defending player controls when it attacks, which is just an insane ability. And even if it exiles, you can somehow bring it back from exile with its crazy ability. So yes, Torrent Elemental is certainly the pick. Just a bonkers card. Other good cards in this pack. Well, I mean, it's a Sultai card because of the ability, but let's be honest, you can play it anywhere. You don't have to use that activated ability for this card to be good. So I'm not going to necessarily steer the ship towards Sultai just to use that activated ability. And nothing is even close in this pack to the power level of Torrent Elemental there. Okay, so now let's look at the strongest cards out of this pack. Well, Lotus Path Djinn keeps us the most open, which I like. Douse and Gloom is good. Merciless Executioner is good. That's about it in terms of the three main cards I want to take. I think I'm just going to take Lotus Path Djinn because it stays on color with Torrent Elemental. Granted, it's not removal like Douse and Gloom, but I want to stay as open as possible, and I certainly want to cut as many good blue cards as I can to get full access to Torrent Elemental and all of the cards around blue. Basically, I just want to signal as soon as possible that I am in blue and I want to take blue cards. And Lotus Path Djinn, I think, is actually stronger than Executioner and Douse and Gloom too. It's a really good card. Oh wow, so we're past Silumgar. Well, I like rares. Yeah, this is a good card. Silumgar is certainly worthy of taking. I mean, maybe it makes me wish I'd taken the Douse and Gloom just because. Not necessarily that Douse and Gloom is better than Lotus Path Djinn, because I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do usually value, removal higher than creatures. But in this case, I just wanted to stay more open and see more of our options. But if we're getting past Silumgar, I would say there's a pretty good chance that blue-black's open, at least. I mean, flying hexproof 3/7 body is really good. Really good. This guy's fine too, but it's nowhere near Silumgar. Okay, so now our picks are between, well, I think the strongest card remaining in the pack is probably Ruthless Instincts and Hungering Yeti. But I think our picks between Enhanced Awareness and Hooded Assassin. If I take the Hooded Assassin, I am limiting myself to Sultai, so I might just want the Ruthless Instincts. I mean, just because if I'm in blue-black, I could also just be blue-black, which would be weird. I haven't done that. Hooded Assassin is a fine card. It's not insane. Ruthless Instincts is a good trick, but I could still see some more. I mean, it's not like a make or break the deck kind of trick. It's pretty good, though. It is good. I think I'm going to take the Hooded Assassin there. Okay. Well, here's a Douse and Gloom that's pretty late, so I'm probably just going to slam that. There's a Sandstep Outcast in here, which is good. And nothing else of real note for us, I think. But yeah, I'm happily taking Douse and Gloom here. I do like removal. I like our start, too. We're on a good start. Two very good rares. One's a mythic that I have yet to play, so see how that goes for us. All right, I would say second Douse and Gloom seems in order here. I mean, this Battle Brawler is a fine card, but it doesn't really work with what we're trying to do. And I don't want to take a Jungle Hollow over a good removal spell, so Douse and Gloom number 2 it is. Definitely like Douse and Gloom, and I'm really happy that we picked up 2 of them not late necessarily, but I would say what, fifth and sixth pick is like about as late as you would expect to get it. All right, Will the Nog is a great card. Really happily taking it here, seventh pick. I think it's very strong. So happily picking that up. And like I said, the only clan that really works with our two colors right now is Sultai, which means we could go green. We could be blue-black, splash green. I don't have a problem with that. We could end up blue-black too, two color. And, you know, there's pros and cons of each. Pros of going three color. Out of the two cons packs, we're going to see some really nice three color cards. Possibly Sultai Charms or, you know, Soothsayers or Abominations of Gadul. All of that stuff would be the reason to be in three color. The cons, you really do want the cons. Isn't that funny? No pun intended on that one. But the CON cons are fixing. We need to make sure we have adequate fixing to make something like this work. That's a pretty late Ruthless Instincts. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to take it on the splash. But I'm basically, what, giving up like a Hill Giant for it? This deck doesn't need Alicia's Vanguard to be good. After all, it is a 4-mana 3/3. But do I want to for sure splash for Ruthless Instincts? Or how good is Ruthless Instincts in here? It's not that great. I mean, it's okay. I guess I take the Vanguard just in case I do end up two color and end up wanting it. It's not a very good card. It's certainly worse than Ruthless Instincts, but like I said, if green is my splash color, Ruthless Instincts is kind of not a card I feel is really worth it in terms of splashing. So same kind of thing with Crew Shock. Really not that amazing on the splash. Refocus is good with Prowess. I haven't played Refocus yet. I don't know how I feel about it. Seems to be good with all the creatures we have. All of our creatures are pretty high toughness. Could end up playing Refocus, I suppose. Otherwise, I'm taking like a Boom Kit or a Shifting Loyalties, neither of which are that amazing. Alright, I think we're just going to slam another Hooded Assassin here. Unfortunately, got my mana base moved a little bit, or my deck rather. Alright, Hooded Assassin number 2 seems fine. So we do have a good start. I very much like our start. Scoured Barrens, I guess. Jeskai Runemark does not really work in our deck so well. Yeah, I think we'll just take Scoured Barrens. If there's something crazy in white we want to splash, I guess I can be open to that. But yeah, I 10 cards out of pack 1, 2 of which are good rares, 2 of which are good removal, 3 of which are good removal. Hooded Assassins, 2/3 bodies are nice. If we end up with any of the Outlast, like Merrick, Nightblade dudes, out of packs 2 and 3, Hooded Assassins get much better. Okay. Wow, Ruthless Instincts is still going around. Well, I'm going to take an Enhanced Awareness over it because it's nice to have card draw. And like I said, we could very easily end up in 2 color, but I would say that late of a Ruthless Instincts is a pretty good indication green's open. I think at we're going to hate the War Flare here. Although, no, I guess I take Bloodfell Caves. There might be a red card I want to splash for. The 2 fixers we got really don't help us in terms of our, 3-color clans. But if there was something crazy I opened that motivated me to want to splash one of those colors, I could be open to that. I'm just going to hate War Flares. Alright, last pick, Sultai Runemark, sure. It's playable. Alright, so, I mean, we have the base set up for just like a blue-black deck of some sort. Oh, I gotta check the price on Ash Cloud Phoenix. Alright, well, the Phoenix is worth like 3.5, 4 tickets, close to it. So I'm going to take that. Otherwise, I think I'd slam a Jeskai Elder, which is a card I'd really want for this deck, but not more than 3.5, 4 tickets. And I certainly don't want to play against Ash Cloud Phoenix either. It's very strong. But yes, I would very much like a Jeskai Elder in this deck, if possible. Okay, now there's Mistfire Weaver in blue, which is probably just the pick. I definitely like Hexproof when I've got a mythic like Torn Elemental that I want to protect. And I'm really not giving up much for it either. Like maybe a Rotting Mastodon, but not even that interested in it. Yeah, I think it's pretty much Misfire Weaver or bust out of this pack. Okay. Next pick we've got a Skull Hunter, which is fine. Certainly not amazing, but everything else seems to be deeper into red. I mean, there's another Bloodfell Caves, but I think I'm probably comfortable taking the Skull Hunter. I don't think it's amazing in this deck, but it's probably better than Wetland Sandbar. Yeah, it's not a very strong pick. I mean, the Tri-Land doesn't really help us that much either. I guess it would open me up for a green splash. Maybe that's... Yeah, maybe, you know what? That's probably better than a Skull Hunter. Getting a green-blue land I could see being pretty helpful there, actually. Okay, Death Frenzy. That's a great board wipe spell, and it's actually amazing in our deck since Double Hooded Assassin, Lotus Patch Inn, Vanguard, Torrent Elemental. Like every single creature except Misfire Weaver survives a Death Frenzy. That alone might be worthy of a splash, like more so than just playing a Throttle and being 2-color. Yeah, Death Frenzy is a very good card. If you're getting beat down, this can bring you right back in the game. Otherwise, there's a Thornwood Falls, which I'd also like. But I think we're just going to take the Death Frenzy here. That's certainly a card worthy of being splashed for, in my opinion. Okay, now there's a Hooting Mandrills, and there's a Rite of the Serpent. And a Sandbar. But I think I'm going to take Mandrills. It's another card I would say is worthy of splashing. And when in Sultai, I would say feel free to grab some Delve. Otherwise, I could take a Rite of the Serpent, which is also a fine card. But I think I like the Mandrills more, even on the splash. Okay, Savage Punch, a little bit awkward. I mean, it's a good card, but seems difficult to play in here. We really don't have a lot of ferocious rewards. I think I'm looking at Abomination of Ga'Dul, most likely, because I can still play it as a morph. Otherwise, there is a Despise, too, which is probably fine, but Abomination is a fine pick, so I'll take it. So now we're starting to get a little bit deeper into green. All right, Trail of Mystery on the splash might be awkward. Guess I'm not really giving up much of anything for it. I'd probably take it anyway, but currently we only have a couple morph, which does certainly make it not that interesting of a pick, but we could end up with some more. I don't like Parapet if green is our splash color. I don't really like Embodiment if green is our splash color, and Whirlwind Adept doesn't really... Actually, I mean, I could take Whirlwind Adept. It's actually pretty interesting with Death Frenzy, since it survives. But I guess I'm going to take the Trail of Mystery. I mean, it's not even that good in this deck, I guess. I'm going to take Throttle here for sure. Okay. Skuldkin versus Weave Fate. Probably just take the Weave Fate. There's a Pony back in here too, but... So now we have Enhanced Awareness, Weave Fate. Yeah, we have enough card draw. Alright, I guess I can take Rotting Mastodon. I'd prefer to... Guess maybe this might be a Tygon Scheming deck if I end up with more Delve. I don't like the card, but I just don't see this deck playing Mastodon, really. I hope we don't have to play Scheming. I don't think it's that great of a card. Here we get another one. Alright, Awaken the Bear, not that good on the splash. Bloodfell Caves number 2. At this point, maybe we just hurt our opponent's mana base. See if that helps. Still open to a red splash, but at this point, I doubt it's happening. Alright, Cranial Archive, whatever. Karu Dreadmaw, sure. Teamer Banner, don't need it. So, we're close to a deck. I think we're going to need some more green fixing to make the 3 green cards we have worth our time. We probably could have gotten away with 2-color, but Death Frenzy was the real one that motivated me. Since it's the only non-rare board wipe in this format, you know. Barrage of Boulders is, I guess, a little bit of a board wipe, but it's just really not the same level as Death Frenzy. Alright, well, we opened a Sultai Rare, but it's not the best one I've ever seen. We do need some actual creatures in here. Otherwise, I'd be motivated to take Crippling Chill, but I think I'm actually going to take the Bondkin here. Bloodsucker. How good is Bloodsucker in this deck? 4 toughness dudes. We have Abomination, Lotus Patch in, possibly, if I have Prowess Trigger. Torrent, but I'd probably never want to sack that. Silmgar, and we probably have enough to make it work, but I think I'm a little more interested in the Morph. There's a Rakshasa Secret, but we could table that, which helps for our delve. And I do actually like Crippling Chill a lot, but we're kind of creature light at the moment, and Bondkin is a fine one. It's more interesting than Rakshasa. We don't have the fixing really to support Rakshasa, and Bondkin's just easier to play. All right, Sultai Charm is certainly worthy of splash. Sadly, there's a Jungle Hollow in here too, which I would want, but I can't pass the Sultai Charm. There is a Raider Spoils in here too. But yeah, Sultai Charm is just worthy of splashing since it's just good removal. Okay. Bitter Revelation does actually seem pretty good in here. There's also a Monastery Flock, which is good. We have card draw already. Bitter Revelation has impressed me less. I got to be honest. Bitter Revelation has impressed me less in the last few drafts I've played it, just because the format sped up so much. But we do have some actual life gain in here with double Douse and Gloom and Death Frenzy. So I might be able to support it. I've kind of got my eye on this Monastery Flock because it blocks well. Buys us time to get like our Torrent Elemental and Silmgar online, but I guess I would much rather play a Bitter Revelation than a Weave Fate. So, all right. There's another Raider Spoils in here too, which is really good. But we're so creature light, I don't think we can support it that well in our deck. All right, Soothsayer is pretty fantastic. Even on the splash. I think I'd probably take that. Granted, it's another 5-drop, but it's a good one. It's a doozy. Dragon's Eye Savants is something I can morph easily. So remember, I still have that Trail of Mystery, but even with Dragon's Eye Savants, I don't think we have enough to support it. Could take a second Throttle, but we're kind of good on 5-drops. Shambling Attendance is fine, but Savants is pretty good since it comes down quick, buys you some time. There's a Glacial Stalker as well. But I like that Savants buys time better. Plus we have some evasion aspects, so having a 0/6 blocker that sees your opponent's hand can be pretty valuable. God, we're not going to get any more fixing, are we? That's unfortunate. Well, I think I can cut Tygon's Scheming probably. I'm going to take Crippling Chill over the Rakshasa Secret. I like Rakshasa Secret, but I just like Crippling Chill more. I think it's a really fantastic card. It's done a lot of good stuff for me. Geez, Sage of the Inward Eye. All right. Slamming this Jungle Hollow like there's nothing else in this pack, even though there really is with Waterworld, Crippling Chill, Krumar Bondkin. But I need this Jungle Hollow more than you can believe. All right, second Sultai Soothsayer. I mean, it's the only card worthwhile here. At least we're in the right... I'd probably slam that over the Enhanced Awareness, to be honest. I'd much rather have a 5-mana, 2/5 body that finds me a card rather than draw 3 discard. Plus, we already have Bitter Revelation, so... All right, we'll take the Soothsayer here. I don't really need a refocus that much. God, we don't have an early game now. I guess Savants kind of is. Somewhat. Not really. Probably take the Secret over the Cancel here. Feeds our 2 Delve spells. Can be good. Jungle Hollow tabled. That's like the best news I've gotten all day. Definitely taking that. Alright, we'll hate Snowhorn Rider. Although maybe I'm more susceptible to aggro. Maybe I want to hate this Trumpet Blast. I'm definitely susceptible to aggro, but not much I can do about it. Shambling Attendance. Not super likely to play it, but I guess I could. I'm trying to think if we want to play 18 lands or 17 lands. I guess our curve is probably low enough where I could get away. Although, with all of these 5-drops, if you move all the guys to 5 mana where they really become useful, yeah. We might be top-heavy enough where I might have to justify 18 lands. I'm not thrilled about that, but our curve doesn't really start until 3. We could definitely... I think we have enough. I think we have so many 5 drops. I might have to run 18 lands. I mean, we do have double Sultai Soothsayer and Bitter Revelation, which kind of helps with the flood. But if I don't get to 5 mana, I think we're just going to lose. I mean, look at all these 5. Look at all these guys that require 5 mana to actually be able to do something. That's a lot. Plus we have like an 8 drop. Granted, it gets cheaper, but we don't have a ton of ways to fuel Delve. We essentially have Rakshas's Secret, Bitter Revelation, a few instants, Sultai Charm. This deck is pretty slow. This deck is definitely pretty slow. So we're going to be susceptible to aggro, which really makes me dislike Bitter Revelation. But I think we might want to run 18 lands. In which case, what's my weakest card that I want to cut? I don't know. I kind of prefer it to not be a creature, but my spells are pretty important too. A lot of 3 drops. At least we have Death Frenzy in here. That's going to help quite a bit. I feel like I want to cut a top end card, but if I cut a top end card, then I probably only want to run 17 lands, you know? The main reason I want to run 18 lands right now is because of an 8 drop. Maybe I just play 17 lands. Our curve is... God, I don't like our curve, though. I really don't. Like I said, not getting to 5 means I can't unmorph these 5 drops. So they're basically gray ogres until I get a 5th land. I do have Bitter Revelation, but I don't know. How many green mana does this deck probably need? Guess we have 6 spells that require green, so I should probably have... I'd like to have 6 sources of green, but we have 3 that are coming from Bivouac and 2 Jungle Hollows. So it's more likely I can only get away with like 2. We're pretty blue light, I guess. Well, we're mostly black, and then splash green, splash blue. Maybe I can do something like that. Okay, I guess that I could probably get away with that. Do I want to do 17 lands, though? That really is the tough part that I don't know. I don't know the answer to. I don't know what I'm more comfortable with. I gotta be honest, I'm more comfortable with 18 lands in this deck. My card draw is Sultai Charm, Bitter Revelation, double Sultai Soothsayer. And yes, I can get flooded, but I can also not draw the colors I need and lose in a really horrific fashion. So I'm trying to think what my weakest card that I want to cut is. Maybe the Secret. It does fuel our Delve, but if I'm running 18 lands, I don't need as much Delve fuel. I do like Secret, but we only have 2 Delve cards in the deck, and I don't like Secret in an 18 land deck. I can say that. Because if I'm like flooded plus trying to make my opponent discard, I don't see that. I don't see that panning out well for me. Alright, I think I'm going to cut the Secret and run 18 lands. Like I said, with 4 ways to draw cards, getting flooded seems like less of a concern for me. Plus we have Crippling Chill, which draws a card too. So yeah, I think there's enough ways to draw cards where this could work out well. And remember, I can delve away a Torrent Elemental, and then I can Actually play it from exile. I gotta remember that. Hopefully I can remember that. All right, let's make our mana base here. So we're focusing on black and then splash, splash blue, splash green. Slight air towards blue. So maybe 7 blue sources. So we already have 1 blue with the bivouac. So this would be 9 black, 6 blue, 6 green. I think I would rather do 8 black, 7 blue, 6 green. 8 black, 7 blue, 6 green. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm actually kind of comfortable with that. It's not the best mana base, but I feel like we have a pretty good shot of hitting land drops every turn and potentially seeing the removal we need to survive. Double Douse and Gloom, Crippling Chill, Sultai Charm, plus Throttle, Death Frenzy, very good. Bomby cards, Torrent Elemental, Silumgar. We have Will of the Naga, which is also removal. We only have 2 delve spells, so I don't need the delving of Rakshas's Secret. Bitter Revelation should handle that just fine. Bitter Revelation is kind of sketchy in this deck because we're a bit slower. So against super fast aggressive decks, it could cause us some issues. The only questionable pick I made this whole draft was the 4 tickets over a really solid 2-drop. That would be pretty excellent in this deck. And if this were a PTQ, I would have taken the 2-drop over it, but I need to recoup at least some of what this draft costs, and Ash Cloud Phoenix does help a lot with that. All right, I think I'm running it like this. Overall, this deck looks very good. It's certainly a very powerful deck. There are good finishers in here. The shortcomings are, of course, that it's a bit clunky. We don't have enough, like, 2-drops, really, so we can get swarmed, but I'm hoping that the Douse and Glooms really help with that, and even the Hooded Assassins on turn 3, a 2/3 body, can really help a lot against hyper aggro. So, yes, overall, I would rate this deck probably about I'd rate this deck probably 7 out of 10. It's 7 out of 10 because it's got some strong rares in it, but it's slow enough where we could get swarmed and lose to just being on the draw, rapid turn progression creatures. So it seems like this deck's going to have a real hard time getting the nut draw. We basically just need to survive to the late game and win with either evasive creatures or powerful rares. Okay, so I've talked enough. Let's try this out.